Welcome, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andang,
Hey, everybody.
Derry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Maven,
Bark, 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 bark.
and Carvet.
I'm supposed to follow that? At your service, I guess.
Yes, apparently chickens are going to be the theme of today's discussion. But before we do that, let's head into the game news, where the servers were brought down on Thursday, January 28th. They were brought down primarily for maintenance, but they did sneak in a couple of small changes in to take care of some bugs that they didn't want to wait until the next significant update. So, anybody remember what any of those changes were because they were all such small ones?
I remember they took the swishing sounds off the dance emotes. That's the only one I remember.
And that's
Obviously-
an indication of the level of update that this
Obviously,
was.
the most important, update was that one right there.
Oh yeah, most important we've had probably in the whole life of LOTRO. I mean, it was a major update. It's amazing how they made the file size so small for such a big update. I mean, man.
You're blowing out my sarcasm filter. Sorry. Well, the main thing was they were still trying to tweak the server so as to get the optimal performance, and maybe someday they'll actually reach that point.
Knowing Pineleaf, I bet he actually does have a sarcasm filter, and there's like sparks coming off of it right now, and it's a real fire hazard.
Let's head into the store sales, where maybe they'll be selling sarcasm filters.
They are not having sarcasm filters on sale. However, this week's sample of the week is a universal solvent. You can use the coupon code found in the show notes. Also, 25% off some really good stuff. Bjorning class, Runekeeper class, Warden class, character slots, and Slayer Deed accelerators. All of those are awesome except for that first one, hashtag down with bears.
Up with bears! Bear
you
power!
really want to play an overpowered furball, be my guest.
I have fun.
Also, not mentioned in here, but the Yule Festival has been turned back on through February the 10th. So some people missed out on time because servers were down quite a bit right there at the end of the festival. So they've turned it back on for us. Yay! I love Yule Festival. It's definitely the best Yule Festival. It's the best
It's
festival
on till the
of all year.
10th, right, of February?
It's on through the 10th of February.
Through
Yep.
the 10th. Yeah, that's awesome.
Then let's head into the site news, and we'll begin with our community events from January 29th through February 4th. Any exciting events coming up?
Well, obviously, the most exciting one
Chickens.
happened today, so
That's
it's already
right.
over with.
Oh,
But coming soon, next Saturday, February 7th at 1 p.m. EST, on the Re-Festival stage on Landval, we have Balrog's Footfall, which looks like it's going to be pretty awesome.
Tell you what, this No Hold Barred Enzank concert looks really cool, too.
Yeah, but that's going to be over with by the time the podcast actually hits iTunes.
Oh, man.
Because it was,
Oh, yeah.
it's tomorrow and Monday.
Oh, but it's on the 7th of February.
Oh,
in
it
Hunterville.
is on the 7th, too. So, there's one tomorrow on Crick Hollow,
one on
and then
Crick.
there's one on the 7th.
Hunterville. Sunday the
on the
7th.
festival. Cool.
That was cool.
I must say that the artwork for the Great Chicken Run is
It's awesome.
You gotta give props to Monica. That is a really sweet.
Isn't that awesome? And
Yeah.
she's
Great.
put it on a T-shirt too.
Yeah, you
so
can get it
I'll
on
do
a
a little
t-shirt.
article. Yeah,
That's
I'll do a little
real.
article about it. Put the link up for it and Corey's going to join us next week, so I'll put the link up and we'll talk about it. She did a great job. I have to just say that the elf that is carrying the pole that has the sacrificial hobbit on it is Erethan, my runekeeper. And I said she's just the kind of elf that would enjoy that. So that was perfect. And Monica said, "Yeah, I thought so."
Don't worry, little hobbit. I'll heal you if they get too close.
it's great, and it looks great on the T-shirt. So I'll make sure I put the link. I'll do a little article. Put the link in.
And honestly, if you change that rope to a body bag, that would be like a Tales of the Free Folk image
Perfect.
almost.
Oh yeah. Oh, we should have Monica,
Oh
illustrate
yeah.
Tales of the Free Folk. Wouldn't that be
Illustrate
awesome?
Tales of the Free Folk. That would be awesome.
That would be fantastic.
And this week's poll asks, if LOTRO added true session play, would you play it?
Yeah, if
Maybe.
LOTRO added true session play, would you play it? And the top answer was yes, with 39%, 57 votes. Followed by no, with 37%, maybe, with 23%, and other, with 1%, 2 votes.
I was in the maybe, but this just goes to show you how silly some of the silliness that we'll actually put our characters through.
Yeah.
Well, it's like as
As-
soon as he said shrew session play, in my brain it transferred to true session play, and I'm like, what's true versus false?
Me too.
Yeah, that's why I repeated the question again, because it did sound like that to me too.
Yeah. Now, I notice here that even though yes won, it didn't exactly win by a wide margin. They were really neck and neck.
Yeah, and maybe was actually pretty high too, with 23%. So they were all basically pretty even.
See, I think they should take my comment, and I'm totally going to jump order here, but I think it's worth mentioning that if they were to make shrew session play more interesting than just like it is with the chickens, it could be amazing.
Like giant shrew session play.
Yeah, like
That
the
would be cool.
shrews have
I
the
would play
ability
that.
to like fling rocks with their tails to make
Just
them a
imagine,
ranged
like,
class.
Giant shrews invading hobbit holes and like stuff like that.
Oh, you could have like stealing pies, sneaking up behind hobbits and snatching pies out of windows.
Ant play, where you get to steal pies and other food objects from hobbits in the Shire.
Ant
That would be
play?
awesome. That
Ant
could be a
play
whole
would be
nother
awesome.
game.
No,
No,
Ant
no,
play would
no.
be so awesome.
Let's draw the line at shrews.
And you'd have to work like in a fellowship to move hobbit food items.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
You'll
Like
need a raid
team
with
of-
ants.
you need at least a raid with ants. No, but like shrews, you could have six. Like you could have a six-man shrew mission where you've got one guy who is like aggroing the farmer's wife, and the other five are making off with the pie.
Yeah, tactical ops for hobbit
There
stealing.
you go. That's right, man.
We also had episode 116 of LOTRO Academy, levels 51 to 60. We talk about where you go between 51 and 60, and that could be answered in one word.
Moria.
Yeah. Even though you notice some lack of excitement from certain people on that matter.
Yeah,
You
from
can do levels
most of
51
us actually.
Yes.
You can do level 51 to 60 without going into Moria.
You
It's not
can.
easy.
You can.
But it's doable.
There are some other options presented other than Moria. If you really
Yeah.
truly don't want to go into Moria, we do present some other options. So it's worth a listen.
Well,
I mean,
and you
if-
can
if
go to
you were-
Lothlorien pretty quick. If you
Yeah,
really
I mean,
don't
if you were the kind of person who like just lingers through Eriador, you won't hit Moria until 55 easy.
And
and
then
then
you
if
can
you-
literally just skip Moria and go straight to
Yeah, and then
Lothlorien.
if you hate
Well, you
Moria
can't
that
go straight to
much,
Lothlorien.
I mean, you have to
because-
do the intro quest, but other than that, I mean, you
but
don't
you
have
have
to
to
worry
go
about anything.
through Moria if you're going to get to Lothlorien.
yeah,
And
but then
Unless you decide to go down via the Great River, but that
Or
take
get
you
a
to
hunter
four
port, or
levels.
buy a port through the store.
Well, yeah, there is always the store stuff. I wasn't thinking about the store. And we also had LOTRO Academy after school,
Which
where
was our
Brian,
first live show.
yes, and so he was explaining about the live show and what the plans were in this article. And next week we'll have the actual podcast for those of you who were not able to attend the live show.
It went really well.
yeah,
It did. It
cool.
was a lot of fun. Just being in the chat, even.
Right, so therefore, if you wish to join us in after school, you could come back next month because we will have these each for last Friday of the month.
Awesome.
Then let's head into Tales of the Free Folk, episode 10. The prologue is out.
Mm-hmm. And it was awesome. It was very, very cool.
Oh, I was so busy doing things like chicken runs and podcast recordings and stuff like that I haven't had a chance to read it.
Yeah. I
Agreed,
had
fine.
I
Agreed.
had time to do it when I was putting the article links into the show notes. So I put everything in there, kept that page open, and made sure I read through it before I closed it. Yeah, it was
That
very cool.
gives us a little bit of a hint, doesn't it?
Not so much a hint, but it expands on some of what he went over last week in when we actually the last session that we actually played. Expands a little bit more on the history of what we're dealing with.
Yeah, this
It's very
story
cool.
takes place 1,000 years basically before our story
Yeah.
is taking place.
In a battlefield long, long ago.
Then we have Piney's pictorial primer to skirmishing Battle of the Deep Way. So this is the first of the epic skirmishes that we are going to have and the first of the warrior ones. So I guess it's appropriate that this came out the same week that we had the level 50 leveling episode for LOTRO Academy.
So Pineleaf, I'm pretty sure toddlers now are predicting what the next skirmish primer are accurately because it's pretty obvious what's coming up.
Yeah, I think it would be very hard pressed not to be able to accurately guess the order in which I'll be doing these next few skirmish guides.
Thangohod's next, right?
Whack.
I was so close to saying that. So
Pine
close.
Leaf totally just gave me the ruler smack. He's all whack. Carve you. Go sit in the corner. Think
I
about
bet the
Gonna go
ruler.
there.
I bet the ruler came from the academy.
It wouldn't
Probably.
surprise me.
He stole it
I
off
got
of
detention
Brandon.
after
Mhm.
school.
He took it from Professor Brannick.
Mm-hmm.
Then let's head into the family line. Part 77, The Warriors of Eriador.
I just love the screenshots from Evan Dim. They're so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the writing's awesome. The screenshots are awesome. Love the family line.
And we also have another episode of the Critters Journey. And yes,
This was
those
so funny.
goes with the chickens.
Oh, it was great. It was great.
And finally, we also have the collection of all of the Volume 1 parts of The Shadows of Angmar. The Poems of the Pine, where I had done I can't remember exactly how many installments of it because I had a few more installments than we had books in there
think
because I had some
17.
books that were split up. About 17?
I think 17.
All right. These 17 episodes then are all combined in a single PDF document so that you can conveniently download them and peruse them if you were ever so inclined.
Sweet. Now I'm
That's
waiting for the
awesome.
audiobook. As narrated by Pine Leaf himself.
Mr. Needles.
I can just see a couple hobbits sitting around a campfire going,
Oh yeah, that definitely has to be part of the audio track. Is snapping at the end of each part.
the bongos, you know.
Yeah.
Let's head into our week in Lotro. And this week we'll go over what our highlight was during the week. And Terry Adwin, what was your highlight?
So my highlight actually happened after we got done with the academy last night. I looked back into Arkenstone and was mistaken for an elf.
What?
Yeah, out of nowhere, I get this random tell, greetings, Master Elf, and then went on to. It was pretty funny because first of all, Terry Edwin is a woman,
Wow.
and so not a
elf.
master or an elf, female woman. Yeah. Anyway,
What's about a drunken dwarf?
was asking if I would be interested in joining their group for Forges of Casa Doom, and would I be able to tank it? And so my response was, I regret to inform you that I'm not an elf. Of course, not much regret there because I really don't feel bad about not being an elf. However, I could do forges and I can probably tank it. So I joined the group, and it was a pickup group. A couple of folks had run it before and sort of knew it. I had done it like maybe twice. Didn't know it very well, but I'm tanking. I just have to yell at whatever the mobs are and make them really mad at me. No problem. So I explained how champion tanking works, which again, champion tanking works by having everything hit me. So we set up target assist. So I was like, okay, everybody needs to be on my target because if you're not on my target, you're going to rip aggro off of me and I can't get it back. And it worked really well up until we were on the trolls, and somebody was like, the person explaining the instance was saying, you need to not DPS these guys because I'm going to try and root them. He was a lore master. I'm going to try and root them. And of course, if you do any damage to them, you're going to break the root. Well, we had this warden in the group who would not stop DPSing the trolls. However, I was such a good tank that despite the fact that I wasn't actually hitting these trolls, like I had even turned off auto attack, and this warden's just wailing away in his DPS line. Those trolls stayed stuck on me the whole time. They were super mad at me, and they were determined that they were going to try and kill me. We ended up, we broke the instance. We had it bug out because we wiped. We wiped, and then on the way back, met the boss before we were supposed to meet the boss. So it ended up breaking, and we had to like disband and restart. And the second time went a lot better, but we did successfully complete it. So I have a new title, which is Smith of Moria or something like that. I don't remember. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and ended up adding him to my friends list with the note "not an elf" because not an elf. So Carvat, what'd you do this week?
He actually wants us to go on.
No, that's okay. I recovered. Come back to me. No. Okay. So I was like very excited that I got the best random drop ever. I was on the west side of Lake Everswim this morning on my free-to-play character, Inupe, and we're hanging out, and I'm doing other quests, and I'm running back and forth up the coast to be able to, talk to the elves and kill the giants, and talk to the elves and kill the trolls, and talk to the elves and do the tree thing, and blah 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 blah. So I'm thinking, gotta swim back across the lake. And on the last run, as I get back to the vendor and I'm dumping all my loot out, I see a map to Tinudir. Pause for effect. I click it and I avoid the swim. And I was happy. So, Pineleaf, how was your week?
In my particular case, it was during a run of the Fort of Bruinen with one of my lower level characters. I was going through the instance and we get down to the boss fight. And you know how you have this troll in the boss fight that comes out, and sometimes the troll is able to be hit by the first wave and sometimes not.
Right.
And in this case, I wasn't lucky enough for the troll to be hit by the wave, so I did what I usually did, and I dragged the troll down to the head of the river so that I could more easily get the troll into the waves during the second wave. So I do this, and the troll manages to stun me 3 times during all this time. The third time was just as I was dropping the troll, just before I dropped the troll. Essentially, I hit the troll to kill it. At the same time, he stuns me. So now I'm stunned, and for a while here, I gotta wait all this time because my anti-stun is on cooldown for the last time he stunned me. And now I'm stunned all this time, can't do anything to help the bros. Then finally get unstunned. Then I'm running like mad to help the twins there. And just before I got there, one of the twins dropped.
Oh.
So you see this message, failed Fort of Bruinen. So of course I had to have vengeance. So I brought up my javelins. I'm throwing javelins at the thing, at the boss, and then I get next to him and hit him once or twice, and he goes down. And right after he goes down, I'm kicked out of the instance. Actually, before I could loot him, so I couldn't loot the body, but I noticed that when he went down and died, I got the marks for killing the boss, despite the fact that technically I lost the skirmish.
That's fantastic.
Well, that's cool.
So it wasn't a complete loss.
So it wasn't a complete loss. So, Maven, what were you up to?
I just flew in from Minas Tirith, and man, are my arms tired. Actually, I was not a chicken today, but I was in the along with Terry Edwin and Pine Leaf. We ran from Sanson's farm to Minas Tirith, protecting Wigand, Corey Olson, in the Tolkien professor in chicken form, along with 4 other chickens. So
Yeah.
there were actually 5 initially that started off from Sanson's farm, and boy, we had a lot of folks. Actually, between the folks that came with us, and we picked up people along the way, and the people that were on the Twitch stream, the Mythgardian Twitch stream watching Corey, we had over 100 people today involved in this event.
Wow.
Wow.
It took 5.5 hours, which is for Corey probably pretty good.
I was gonna say slow for Corey. Like that's
No, it's actually probably about right. Like one of my kinnies did it solo the other day for at 3.5 hours, so extra 2 hours for Corey to look around. You know, I mean, he was very excited when where were we at? We were in Enidwythe, I guess, and he did the Sam Gamgee. I am now farther than I've ever been. So, from that point on, it was like gawk, gawk, gawk. And we hadn't planned to stop at Edoras, and I think we ended up spending a half an hour there because he just, he just geeked out over Edoras completely. And it was really fun. And then, Minas Tirith, of course, he walked entire Minas Tirith as a chicken. And then the whole group that was left. And we picked up chickens along the way. Actually, one of the players actually chickened his way to Ekata Region and joined us when we reached there. And then one of the devs joined us. Moose joined us for the last part of the run. So we ended up with 7 chickens. Started out with 5, ended up with 7 chickens. And then we all cast ourselves off the prow. And the chickens earned the Lord of the Wings and Lady of the Wings title, and the humanoids got Flighty. If they hadn't gotten that title yet, they got Flighty. So it was a great day. I'm exhausted. I feel like my brain is fried, but it was really fun. And Corey's going to join us next week, so he'll be here next week to kind of give his impressions after he's molded for a week. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I actually said that backwards from what I meant. And Kazad in the chat says light speed for Corey, and yeah, absolutely that.
Oh
that
yeah,
is
yeah,
super
yeah.
Quick.
It definitely light speed for Corey. Yes, light speed for Corey. And I think part of the reason was he's drawn familial aggro a little bit, because I think he did I have something I have to do on the 30th, but didn't actually say it was like for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oops. So I think he could hear upstairs the foot tapping on the floor kind of thing, so he didn't, he kind of kept it moving. But Andang, so how about you? How was your week?
Yes, well, I helped Bingo Bossy Pants, which is his new name in my mind.
Bossy Pants.
I helped him get out of Moria, and it was actually not too bad. It was a lot better than last week, and there was also a bit of sadness, which I'm not going to spoil, that happened at the end. I think it could have been drawn out a bit more, but yeah, it was a pretty good week, I thought. I thought it had some nice beats to it. So, anyway, that concludes this section, I guess, finally.
We currently have 20 supporters on Patreon, and if you'd like to join this illustrious rate of players and help LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest host on an episode of LOTRO Players News. And how far are we from our next goal?
Well, Pine Leaf, Patreon actually had an upgrade, and it seems a couple more people became our patrons, which is super awesome. And so now we're actually $8 away from a 1-year VIP code giveaway. So we're getting super close. It would be awesome to knock that out pretty soon.
We did not have any reviews on iTunes, but we do have several featured comments. And the first one is to a Critter's Journey that was left on LOTRO Players News episode 134 by Terry. You're going to read this.
Yeah, it was left by a Critter's Journey who was actually Squirrel, who responded to a comment that I made last week. I said something about what kind of nuts Squirrel is on. So it starts out with, they mostly are cashew nuts. So thank you for that, Squirrel. Normally I create the screenshots that are used for the panels myself, but that large a gathering outside Brie is hard to get. This shot was provided by a Facebook search option is horrible from the Evernight Facebook group, reaching 1K people. A group photo and some games were part of the happening, estimated to have around 150 people in that group shot that was featured last week in the episode. So, yeah. So thank you, Squirrel, for letting us know that you were on Cashew Nuts.
Very well. And Brax Wolf also had a comment on LOTRO Players News episode 134 where he says, "Ha! The pick of the week truly brings honor to my memory. Well done."
Okay, Pineleaf just turned a lull into an actual laugh. I thought that was hilarious. I'd just like
It
to
was
point that out.
better. It was better. Like lol, it's
know,
just kind
that's
of lol. Trish, I mean, Maven will put actual. She'll type that. She'll type out laugh. Like
I
she
do, because I
refuses
hate
to
LOL.
bow to the acronyms of this day and age. But Pineleaf does
I
it even
can't
better.
stand LOL.
He's not just reading LOL. He's going, ha ha, the pick of the week. Brilliant, well played.
That's
It was like a
great.
heroic laugh, yeah.
I know, right?
Carvette left a
should-
comment on this week's poll, but Andang insists on reading it.
That's right, Carve can't read his own comments. What kind of a world would we be in? Carve says, in my opinion, true session play should involve running through a mini Moria / Goblin Town tunnel maze, avoiding crawlers, cave claws, and the occasional orc looking for a snack.
That's great.
Dude,
I
that
would
was
totally
rough.
play through that.
Yeah, I would do that too.
That better come with one great title, let me tell you.
Carve just said he would do that too, and he left the comment. I'd just like to point that out.
You know, I've been told that I shouldn't accolade my own self, but I do it, so sorry.
No, that's
Not
awesome.
sorry.
That was hilarious.
No, basically, I mean, I have this impression of like the title being like, you know, Digger of Middle Earth, or something like Getting to the Bottom of It,
Diggy, diggy
or
hole. How about that?
No, it's not a dwarf shrew session play. It's a shrew session play.
I was thinking that maybe for a shrew session play, do you know how in Lothlorien we have to save trees? In addition to singing to them, we also have to save seeds from being eaten by shrews.
Ooh, you'd have
So
to.
therefore, we could play the shrews trying to find the seeds to eat.
That would be awesome. You'd have to be like sneaking around, avoiding patrolling elves.
Yeah, patrolling elves, yes.
We'd have to take our shrew to Minas Tirith then. That'd be the next big trip, huh?
To get into the food stores, and that's why the food stores are disappearing.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ah.
It wasn't rats, it was shrews.
Yeah.
Oh man, but then there'd be another arc through the cisterns and.
If you would like to email us, you could send it to podcast@LotroPlayers.com. And you could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Andang @PVMP_Andang, Arithert @Arithert, Carvette @CarvetteLP, Maven @TolkienMaven, Pineleaf @PineleafNeils, and Terry Adwin @TerryAdwin. The Players Alliance has 5 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. On the last Friday of every month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Academy after school, but please note it may start as early as 8:15. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have LOTRO Players News, though it may start a little bit earlier, when it is followed by Tales of the Free Folk on every other Saturday. You can join us for live shows at LOTROPlayers.com/live. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This is Pineleaf News reminding you to skirmish responsibly.